What's up everyone, Patrick here, welcome back. Moving on to the next example on the Unit 1 Advanced Functions test. So we are given this function here, this transform function. We took the absolute value of x and transformed it to this function here. And what we have to do is we have to state the transformations. So as we went over in the lecture videos, what we want to do first is get our transformation values a, k, d, and c. And then we can go into stating the transformations for each of these here. Now, just in general, if you remember for the absolute value, the format of the transform function is this right here. Now, what's the issue with this function that we're given? Well, the k value, right? The k value is not alone, it's attached to the x. So we're actually going to have to factor out this 2 over 3. And the question is, what would we be left with in the brackets there? Well, we're definitely going to be left with an x. Now, what does this 4 turn into? What you have to do is divide by what you're taking out to figure out what's going to be left in here, right? So, like, for example, let's look at a more simple factoring operation. So let's say that we have, actually, you know what, let's say we got 2x minus 6. Well, just looking at this, what can we factor out? We can factor out a 2, and just intuitively, you'll probably write x minus 3, right? But if you dig into your process, into your thought process, how did you get this 3? Well, we took out this 2, and after we took it out, we divided everything by what we took out, right? So that's how we ended up with this x, and then the 6 divided by 2 is this 3. Right? Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. So same thing here. We're taking out this 2 over 3, and we have to divide what was there initially by what we are taking out. Okay, so it's the same exact process, it's just sometimes students get confused when there are fractions involved. Right? So if we take 4 divided by 2 over 3, okay, that's like 4 over 1 divided by 2 over 3, which is like 4 over 1 times 3 over 2, which would be like 12 over 2, which would give us 6, like that. So what would we be left with? We'd be left with plus 6, right there. Okay, and then you could test it too. You could redistribute that 2 over 3. 2 over 3 times x is 2 over 3x. 2 over 3 times 6 does indeed give us that, 4. All right, so you could redistribute to make sure that it's all good. And then now it is in that transformation format, right? So we can go through all of these here. So what is the a value going to be? Well, it's going to be 1 over 4. The k value is the 2 over 3. The d value is negative 6, right? Remember the d value, always take the opposite sign. The c value is negative 3, like that. Okay, we got our transformation values. Now we can go through each of these and state what the transformations are going to be. So this a value of 1 over 4, what does that mean? That means there's a vertical compression by 1 over 4, right? Because that a value is between 0 and 1, or the absolute value is between 0 and 1. If this was negative, we would also say it's reflected in the x-axis, but it is a positive, so there's no reflection there. So that is the first transformation. Now what about this k value of 2 over 3? If you remember from the lecture videos, when we're describing the transformations of the k value, we always flip it when we're stating the transformation in words. So this k value of 2 over 3, that means that there's going to be what? A horizontal stretch by 3 over 2. Now, why is it a stretch and not a compression? Well, because 3 over 2 is greater than 1, right? 3 over 2 is 1.5. So even though it's a fraction, be careful because sometimes the fractions you're going to be working with are going to be greater than 1, and that's going to result in a stretch. If this here ended up being like 3 over 4, we would say a horizontal compression by 3 over 4, and that means the original k value would have been 4 over 3. So we would have flipped it, 3 over 4, that's between 0 and 1. That means it's a horizontal compression by 3 over 4. But 3 over 2 is greater than 1, horizontal stretch. So just be careful with these fractions. And then this d value of -6, well, that is a what? Horizontal translation. 6 units left. And then the c value deals with translations up and down, vertical translations. Since it's negative, there's a vertical translation 3 units down. And that ends up being the answer to this question. So you always want to make sure that your transform function is in the proper transformation format. It's usually this k value that sometimes needs to be factored out, so be on the lookout for that. Then you get your transformation values, and then you could state your transformations. And that's a wrap for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you want to see more videos like this, please go to my website, allthingsmathematics.com. Over there, all of the videos are organized by chapter, by section. If you feel like you need tutoring at any point, you could also hit me up. My contact details are on the website. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.